For men over 50, the difference between strong testosterone and slow decline could come down to something as simple as the nuts you eat every day. Some can fuel your hormones, your confidence, and even your performance in the bedroom, while others quietly drag it all down. Today, I'll reveal 5 powerful nuts that naturally raise testosterone and help men stay energized, strong, and vital after 50, and 2 common nuts that secretly destroy your hormones and circulation. One of them may surprise you, because most men eat it almost daily, thinking it's harmless. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, a urologist and men's health specialist with over 25 years of experience helping men restore their vitality. Welcome to Vital Health Seniors, where we break down science into simple steps every man can use to live with strength and confidence at any age. Now, before we get into the nuts that destroy testosterone, let's start with the 5 that truly help men over 50 feel alive again. Because here's the truth, testosterone naturally declines with age. From the age of 30 onward, levels drop about 1% per year. By 50, many men already notice the difference. Lower energy, softer muscles, belly fat creeping in, slower recovery, weaker erections, and sometimes even a hit to confidence. Feels frustrating because you're doing the same things you used to, yet the results just aren't there. But here's what most men don't realize. Small nutrition choices can make a massive difference. The right nutrients feed your testosterone, your circulation, and even your brain's performance. And nuts are one of the simplest, most overlooked tools you can use. Let's start with the first testosterone-boosting nut, and this one is backed by decades of science. Walnuts. These are one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids and the amino acid arginine. Now, why does this matter? Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. Inflammation is like a slow fire in the body. It damages blood vessels, lowers circulation, and even disrupts hormone production. By calming that fire, walnuts create a healthier environment for testosterone. Arginine, on the other hand, helps your body produce nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the very molecule that relaxes blood vessels, allowing better blood flow everywhere, including where it matters most for a man's performance. When blood flow improves, testosterone delivery improves too. That means better energy, stronger morning erections, and even improved mental clarity. In fact, research shows that men who add walnuts to their diet improve sperm vitality, motility, and even hormone balance. Practically speaking, just a small handful of walnuts, about 7 whole nuts a day, is enough to support your testosterone and circulation. Toss them into oatmeal, salads, or just eat them raw. Think of walnuts as nature's prescription for better blood flow and hormone support. The second nut that works wonders for men over 50 is almonds. They may seem ordinary, but almonds are loaded with magnesium, one of the most important minerals for testosterone production. Magnesium reduces cortisol, your body's stress hormone. And here's the problem with cortisol. When its high, testosterone drops. Stress literally robs you of your manhood. Magnesium helps calm that stress response, lowering cortisol and freeing testosterone to rise. But almonds also contain vitamin E, which acts like a shield for your blood vessels. Vitamin E protects against oxidative stress, the kind of microscopic rust that damages arteries and nerves. When your blood vessels are protected, circulation improves, and that means stronger energy and performance. The sweet spot is about a small handful, 20 to 23 almonds per day. You don't need much, but the daily habit adds up. I often tell my patients, swap the bag of chips at night for a bowl of almonds, and you'll notice the difference in a matter of weeks. The third nut is one that's actually been studied specifically for men's performance: pistachios. These little green gems are rich in arginine just like walnuts, but they also help lower LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol that clogs arteries. And here's where it gets really interesting. Clinical studies have shown that men who added pistachios to their diet 3 times a week experienced significant improvements in erectile function, circulation, and even satisfaction. This isn't just theory, it's proven. Pistachios open blood vessels, reduce harmful cholesterol, and feed testosterone production. They're also lower in calories compared to other nuts, making them great for men watching their weight. A serving of about 40 to 50 kernels is all you need. Imagine replacing that salty processed snack with pistachios, and knowing that every handful is improving your blood flow and hormone health. Before we continue with the next 2 powerhouse nuts, Let me pause here for a quick moment. If you're finding this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. On Vital Health Seniors, we dive into foods, habits, and natural solutions that most men never hear about, but every man over 50 deserves to know. And I don't want you to miss the next one. Now let's move to the fourth testosterone-boosting nut. And this one is in a league of its own: Brazil nuts. They're unique because they contain incredibly high levels of selenium, a mineral most men are deficient in. Selenium is directly tied to testosterone production, prostate health, and even sperm quality. In fact, low selenium has been linked to reduced fertility, sluggish energy, and increased risk of prostate problems. But here's the catch. You don't need many. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day provides all the selenium you need. More than that and you might get too much. I often recommend men treat Brazil nuts like a daily supplement. Just 1 in the morning alongside breakfast, and you're fueling your hormones, protecting your prostate, and setting up your energy for the day. The fifth nut on our list is hazelnuts. They're less popular than almonds or walnuts, but don't underestimate them. Hazelnuts are rich in folate and magnesium, both essential for testosterone support. Folate helps with DNA repair and nerve health, while magnesium, as we've discussed, frees testosterone by lowering cortisol. Together, they support hormone production, protect brain function, and even improve mood. Many men don't realize that low testosterone is often tied to irritability, fatigue, and brain fog. Hazelnuts help stabilize this balance. They also contain healthy monounsaturated fats, the kind that directly support hormone synthesis. Around a handful a few times a week can make a noticeable difference in energy and overall vitality. At this point, we've covered 5 nuts that fuel testosterone in circulation: walnuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts. Add these into your weekly routine, and you'll be stacking the deck in your favor for stronger hormones, better blood flow, and renewed confidence after 50. But here's the flip side. Not every nut is your friend. In fact, 2 of the most common nuts men snack on every day are quietly sabotaging testosterone. And chances are, you have at least one of them sitting in your kitchen right now. The first nut that quietly destroys testosterone is one of the most popular worldwide: peanuts. Now technically, peanuts aren't even nuts. They're legumes in the same family as beans and lentils. That might seem harmless, but here's the problem. Peanuts are highly susceptible to something called aflatoxins. These are toxic compounds produced by certain molds that grow on peanuts during storage. Even in small amounts, aflatoxins stress the liver and disrupt hormone balance. For a man over 50, who may already have a slower metabolism and less efficient detox systems, that stress adds up fast. Peanuts are also very high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 aren't bad in small amounts, but when the balance with omega-3s is off, which is the case for most men, it creates inflammation. And inflammation is like kryptonite for testosterone. It lowers hormone production, damages blood vessels, and reduces nitric oxide. That means weaker circulation, softer erections, and lower energy. You may not notice it overnight, but years of eating handfuls of peanuts or peanut butter every day can silently chip away at your hormones. Now, does that mean you can never eat peanuts again? No. An occasional handful isn't going to ruin your testosterone. But daily peanut butter sandwiches, peanut snacks at night, or peanut-heavy trail mixes, that's where the problem builds. If you love peanut butter, swap it for almond butter or walnut butter. You'll get all the taste with nutrients that actually fuel testosterone instead of destroying it. The second nut that destroys testosterone might surprise you even more: cashews. On the surface, they look healthy, creamy, slightly sweet, and packed with minerals. But here's the hidden issue. Cashews are loaded with something called phytic acid. Phytic acid binds to minerals like zinc and magnesium in your digestive tract and blocks your body from absorbing them. Why does that matter? Because zinc and magnesium are 2 of the most important minerals for testosterone. Zinc is the spark plug for testosterone production. Without it, the factory shuts down. Magnesium, as we discussed earlier, lowers cortisol and supports hormone balance. When cashews rob your body of these minerals, testosterone takes a direct hit. There's another hidden problem with cashews: their carbohydrate load. Cashews are one of the higher carb nuts, which means they can spike insulin when eaten in large amounts. High insulin leads to belly fat, and belly fat produces estrogen-like compounds that further lower testosterone. It becomes a vicious cycle. Men eat cashews thinking they're doing something healthy, but over time, it can contribute to lower energy, softer muscles, stubborn weight around the middle, and declining performance. Now, does this mean you can never touch cashews again? Not necessarily. Having a few here and there won't destroy your health. But if cashews are your go-to nut, eaten by the handful every night, you may be doing your hormones more harm than good. A smarter swap would be pistachios or hazelnuts, similar in taste and texture, but with nutrients that build testosterone instead of breaking it down. So let's pause for a second. We've now covered 5 nuts that support testosterone: walnuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts, and 2 nuts that quietly sabotage it: peanuts and cashews. The truth is, most men are eating at least one of the wrong ones daily, often without even realizing the impact it's having. And when you add that to the natural decline of testosterone that comes with age, you can see why so many men after 50 feel like they're slowing down. But here's the encouraging part. I've worked with men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who thought it was too late to turn things around, and I've watched them reclaim their energy, their strength, and even their confidence simply by making small changes like this. I remember one patient. He was 62, tired all the time, struggling with his weight, and feeling frustrated in the bedroom. He had a habit of snacking on peanuts and cashews every evening while watching TV. I suggested he swap them out for walnuts and almonds. It seemed too simple at first, but he trusted the process. Within a few months, he had more energy during the day, noticed his waistline shrinking, and told me, with a smile, that his confidence with his wife had returned. Nothing drastic, no pills, just a change in what he fueled his body with. That's the power of nutrition. Food is information. Every bite you take is telling your body to either build testosterone or break it down, support circulation or clog it up, sharpen your confidence or dull it. The nuts you choose aren't just snacks, they're signals to your hormones. Now, I know some of you watching might be wondering, why does this matter so much after 50? And the answer is that hormone balance becomes more delicate with age. In your 20s and 30s, your body can buffer bad choices. You can eat poorly, skip sleep, drink more, and still bounce back. But once you pass 50, the margin for error shrinks. Your body doesn't recover the same way, and the wrong habits catch up faster. That's why I emphasize these details with my patients. Choosing the right foods is no longer optional. It's essential if you want to keep living with vitality. And here's something I want every man to hear clearly. Low testosterone after 50 is not inevitable. Yes, there is a natural decline. But the steep drop that so many men experience? That's not just age. That's lifestyle, diet, stress, and inflammation piling up. Which means it's also reversible. I've seen men raise their testosterone levels naturally by 20 to 30%, without medication, simply by correcting deficiencies and removing foods that sabotage them. Nuts are just one piece of the puzzle, but they're a powerful and simple place to start. So as you're listening right now, think about the nuts in your pantry. Do they belong to the booster category or the destroyer category? If you're seeing more peanuts and cashews than walnuts or pistachios, that's a red flag. And it's a red flag you can correct immediately. So let's bring this all together. On one side, you've got 5 nuts that fuel testosterone and circulation: walnuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts. On the other, 2 nuts that quietly sabotage hormones and performance: peanuts and cashews. If you simply swap the harmful ones for the beneficial ones, you're already giving your body a better foundation to thrive. Think of it this way. Every time you snack on walnuts instead of peanuts, you're lowering inflammation, improving blood flow, and signaling your body to produce more testosterone. Every time you choose pistachios over cashews, you're protecting zinc and magnesium, fueling nitric oxide, and giving yourself more energy and confidence. These may seem like small swaps, but when you repeat them day after day, week after week, the results accumulate. Over the course of months, these choices can mean the difference between feeling drained and sluggish or feeling alive and capable. The men who do best are the ones who commit to consistency. A single handful of almonds won't transform your hormones, but a daily practice, adding a few Brazil nuts with breakfast, keeping a bag of pistachios in the car, sprinkling walnuts on your salad. These are the habits that quietly reshape your biology over time. And if you're serious about maintaining strong testosterone after 50, this is where it begins. With daily signals that tell your body you're still in the game. I've seen men reclaim vitality in their 60s and even 70s just by adjusting what they eat. One patient of mine, 68 years old, had been dealing with low energy and a fading drive. His lab tests showed borderline low testosterone, and he was worried that medication was his only option. But we started with food first. We introduced more testosterone-friendly nuts, cleaned up his diet, and removed the daily cashews he thought were healthy. Within 4 months, his testosterone numbers climbed, his waistline shrank, and he told me he felt 10 years younger. That's the kind of change I want for every man listening. Because here's the truth. Aging is inevitable, but decline is optional. Your hormones, your energy, your performance, they don't have to fade just because you've crossed 50. What matters is how you fuel your body and how you protect it from silent saboteurs. By focusing on these small but powerful adjustments, you take back control. You're no longer at the mercy of age. You're steering your health with intention. So here's your action plan. Step 1. Look in your pantry. If peanuts and cashews are sitting there as your go-to snacks, put them aside. Don't feel guilty about it. Just recognize that they don't serve your hormones the way you thought they did. Step 2. Restock with the 5 boosters. Buy a bag of walnuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts. Keep them visible and accessible, so the easy choice is also the smart one. Step 3. Make them part of your daily rhythm. Maybe a Brazil nut with breakfast, a handful of almonds mid-morning, pistachios as your afternoon snack, walnuts on a salad at dinner, hazelnuts as a small dessert. Spread them through the day, and your body will thank you. And remember, moderation is key. Nuts are calorie-dense, and you don't need large amounts. A small handful of each type, rotated throughout the week, is enough to keep your hormones supported and your circulation strong. Too much of any nut, even the good ones, can work against you. Balance and consistency win here. I want to emphasize one last point. In my 25 years as a urologist and men's health specialist, I've seen too many men resign themselves to decline. They think fatigue, belly fat, and fading confidence are just part of getting older. But that's simply not true. The men who challenge that assumption, who take ownership of their habits, their nutrition, and their daily choices, are the ones who stay vibrant. They're the men still traveling, still leading, still enjoying intimacy well into their 60s and 70s. And the difference isn't luck. It's intention. Your hormones don't disappear overnight. They respond to signals. Every food you eat, every lifestyle choice you make, is a signal. When you choose the right signals, the foods that boost testosterone and protect circulation, your body responds with strength. When you choose the wrong ones, it responds with weakness. It's really that simple. And the beauty is, you are the one in control of those signals every single day. Now, if you've made it this far, it tells me something important. You care about your health, your energy, and your performance. You're not the kind of man who gives up. You're here because you want to keep thriving, not just surviving after 50. And that's exactly what we're here for at Vital Health Seniors. If you want more science-backed ways to boost testosterone, protect your prostate, and live with confidence at any age, make sure you hit subscribe right now. Every week, we share natural solutions most men never hear about, but every man deserves to know. And you won't be alone. Thousands of men your age are already following along, applying these steps, and seeing results. Join them. Subscribe today, and take this journey with us. Because the next video could hold the one strategy that changes everything for you. Your confidence, your hormones, and your vitality don't have to fade with age. Choose wisely, fuel your body with the right signals, and you'll feel the rewards every single day. The power is in your hands, and it starts with the nuts you choose.